Thank you everyone who's joined us. I've got the very well-known Brett Salakas with us, who's running our keynote. Brett, just quickly, a bit of background about you before I interrupt you for a couple of minutes.
Oh no, man! I've got my background on blur. It's all right.
Good. So
that was
Brett,
a joke.
Tell us what you do, Brett. What's your background?
Yeah, so obviously educated by trade. Having a look at the names in the room. Hey, Krista. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Stephanie. I see a lot of hey, Alice, Bruce. Seen a lot of people. Oh, Leonie too. Seen a lot of people I know and recognise names of. I love teaching. I love tech, and together, education technology is a very big passion of mine. Today, we're going to go on a little bit of an Odyssey. And we're going to talk a little bit about AI and I guess the Odyssey, the journey that we're all on. So I'm going to be, hopefully, young Timothy, hopefully your Greek mythology is up to scratch.
Absolutely. I've seen this session a few times, so I should know all the answers by now if I was listening, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. Now, just before Brett starts his keynote, I'm just going to share my screen because I did promise to the K-12 community at this conference that I would let them know about classrooms. Many of you already know that Adobe Express Classrooms, I'll just share with audio as well. Just share that again with audio. Adobe Express Classrooms became available to Australia about 2 weeks ago. When it first came out, the performance wasn't that great, so we really didn't promote it, but now it's improved dramatically. There are a few K-12 systems in Australia that have decided not to have it in their system just yet. Just waiting for it to settle in, I guess, to the system. It's been around in America now for 12 months, so it's a great setup. I'm not going to spend much time on it, but if you want to explore it, if you have got access to it, you can go across to the Classrooms tab on the left-hand side. And when you activate that Classrooms tab, it then takes you into the Classrooms experience where you can actually create a class and then assign work to that class. The students can do that work. They can then submit that work through the class. You can see the progress of each student. You can even share everyone's work with each other if you want to. You get that as a choice, and then you can give feedback. It's an amazing setup. It's a wonderful system. And what I'm going to do just very quickly is show you where you can find out more information about it. As a teacher, you should have the Teach tab on the front page. When you click on that Teach tab, there is a tile here called Onboard to Express. When you click on that tile, you can see a set of videos. Some of them are introductory videos to Adobe Express, but this one here, Engage with Galleries and Classrooms, that's the one that gives you more information. If I just play a little bit of this now, I'll put it in full screen, and you'll get a sense of how this works.
Students and teachers asked for this feature, and we delivered. We have created classrooms to help facilitate collaboration so the invisible elements of student creation become visible. With classrooms, you can assign projects, view student progress in real time, and empower collaboration. I'm excited for you to explore these features. Remember to pause the videos and practice on a separate screen as you go.
First, make sure you're logged in with your school ID and that you're using a teacher account. Next, from the home screen in Express, click on the classroom icon on the left. Click the Create Class button to create your personalized classroom. Fill in the name, the subject, and the grade level. Enter a co-teacher's email to help manage assignments and view student work.
And I'm going to pause it at that point because you can watch the rest of that video in your own time. I don't want to steal any more of Brett's time. So Brett, over to you. Let's have a listen to your keynote.
Oh, just put my camera back on because I may have had a costume change.
Oh my goodness, you did promise you'd do that.
I did promise. You did ask. I do have the Adobe shirt on underneath, and I've got my nice little gold things. Oh, I've never looked at myself when I do this. I've never noticed that before.
It almost fits you, Brett.
Almost fits me. I do have a big head for those people who have seen me in real life. All right. Shall I just dive straight in?
Go for it.
Go for it. I might have a few interactive things, Tim. So if at any point there are some comments in the chat, I'd really appreciate you maybe just letting me know what people might be saying.
I will be monitoring.
Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. Include sound. Jump to my thing. All right, lovely. And whoop. All right, so I'm going to be talking about this AI Odyssey. And let's get started. This is why I'm dressed as Odysseus for you. But if I go to this first slide, I'm curious, Tim, do you speak Greek?
Yasu.
Yasu, here we go. All right. Anyone who might speak Greek in the audience, I'm going to play this video. I'd love you to tell me what it might say. So just comments in the chat if you know what I'm saying here.
We're not getting audio, Brett. Is that because just reshare with your audio?
I will just stop. I did click that little button. I'll just do it again.
Yeah, I remember you saying
sound.
as you were clicking it.
Yeah, all right. Include sound. Let's
Otherwise,
try a second.
I'm good at reading lips.
Yep. The share sound button is live. Let's try again. Can you hear that?
Elπίζω να το απολαύσετε. All good. Thank you.
All right. I'll go back a slide. Oh, there we are. And so you can actually hear it.
Γεια σας σε όλους. Ονομάζομαι Μπρετ Τσιλάκης και είμαι από την HP. Σήμερα είμαι εδώ για να σας μιλήσω για την τεχνητή νοημοσύνη και θα ενσωματώσω μια ιστορία για τον Οδυσσέα, οπότε θα κάνουμε μια Οδύσσια στην τεχνητή νοημοσύνη. Ελπίζω να το απολαύσετε.
Out of curiosity, Tim, anyone in the chat speak Greek? No comments there?
No.
No comments. I'm wondering, what
saying
about...
you speak Greek very well, someone's saying.
Thank you.
And
how's my Bahasa? Who's been to Bali, I wonder? How is your Bahasa? Anyone speak Bahasa in the chat? Just let Tim know.
Halo semuanya. Nama saya Brett Cilakis dan saya dari HP. Saya di sini hari ini untuk berbicara kepada Anda tentang AI. Dan saya akan memasukkan cerita tentang Odysseus. Jadi kita akan melakukan pengembaraan AI. Saya harap Anda menikmatinya.
Anyone with Bahasa in the chat there, Tim?
Just having a quick look, and no Bahasa.
We need more people. We need more people going to Bali for the holiday. What about Mandarin? I wonder if anyone can test my Mandarin skills.
大家好，我叫布雷特，奇拉基斯，来自惠普。今天我来这里和大家聊聊人工智能，并且会穿插一个关于奥德修斯的故事，所以我们将开启一场人工智能的奥德赛之旅。希望你们喜欢。
Oh, very good, very good. All right. So I don't know what the audience might know, but this might sound a little bit easier.
G'day everybody, my name is Brett Salakas and I'm from HP. I'm here today to talk to you about AI. I'm going to weave in a story about Odysseus. So we are going to go on an AI Odyssey. I hope you enjoy.
All right, now I see Maureen's got her hand up. Maureen, are the guests able to come off video audio here, Tim, or not?
What we might do, Brett, because we're low in time, we might have some questions towards the end, or even when we stop the recording, we might ask some questions there.
I've got a guess. I'm going to hazard a guess that Maureen might be, how did I do all this? How did I speak all these languages? Because I don't speak any of those languages other than English. But if you happen to go onto the Adobe Firefly site, find your pathway to Adobe Firefly, you would know that not only does Adobe Firefly do image generation like it was doing for quite some time now, but you can have it do videos, you can have it do all sorts of other things. But if you hit the little ellipse and see what other features are there, one of the relatively new features is translate video. So you can pick from a plethora of different languages, upload a video of you speaking, and it will audio dub what you have said. It will be able to transcribe it and then put that into another language. So when we're talking about AI in schools, what that might be. And I know a lot of people get worried sometimes about text creation and all that sort of stuff, and what there might be with cheating and things like that, or whatever inverted commas cheating is nowadays. Using some of the Adobe suite, and particularly the Adobe creativity sort of elements or concept elements, allow us to use AI in a much more creative way. I love this in particular because what it can do is, imagine a principal writing the newsletter. You've got a multilingual sort of community that you're serving, and perhaps you've got the athletics carnival. You've written out your athletics sort of commentary, and maybe you do a little video, a 30-second video explaining what happened, the highlights of the day. Put that into Firefly, translate that to Mandarin, add a QR code at the bottom of your newsletter, and suddenly you've actually used AI to make a much more human-centered, inclusive environment within your school environment. I'm going to keep chugging along. So the Odyssey of innovation. So obviously, we are going on a little bit of a journey right now with AI. So that's hence why I'm dressed as Odysseus, going on that little bit of a journey. Now, in the Greek myth, Odysseus, of the Odyssey, Odysseus actually fought in the Trojan War. He fought very bravely in the Trojan War. After the wooden horse and the Greeks win, he's sailing back to his town of Ithaca, or his island of Ithaca, to visit his beautiful, lovely wife, Penelope, and he upsets some of the gods. So the gods play a few tricks on him. They blow him off course. He gets tempted by monsters. He gets tempted by sirens. A lot of suitors are trying to steal his wife off him and tempt her to marry them instead of him, and all that sort of stuff. He goes on this great big journey, and takes him about a decade to get back home. We don't have 10 years to go on an odyssey to work out what we want AI to be in schools. We need to figure out where we want to be, and then how we get to our North Star. How do we get to our Ithaca? How do we get to where we want to be as quickly as possible? So how do we do that? Now, I guess before we even talk about the how, let's talk about like the why. So what's the purpose of AI? So this little narrative here, the efficiency of locomotion. Now, I'm just going to go very, very quickly. In the 1960s, there were a group of scientists that actually did a bit of research about movement, like the efficiency of movement of animals, sort of in wildlife on the planet. They looked at cheetahs and turtles and all this sort of stuff. Man fits somewhere about the middle. Cheetahs obviously up at the high end, but the most efficient animal for locomotion, the most efficient animal for movement in the entire animal kingdom, the peregrine falcon. The peregrine falcon was the most efficient. And that's a great study. It's an interesting study. But thank goodness there was one of the researchers that decided to do an additional test at the conclusion of that research. And he actually thought, what would happen if we got a human on a bicycle and measured the efficiency of locomotion there? Turns out that on a bike, humans are infinitely 3 times more efficient than the peregrine falcon. With the use of technology, the use of the tool, the use of the bike allows humans to be the most efficient animal on the entire planet by many folds. So why do we use AI? Why do we use technology? It increases our effectiveness as humans, all the things that we are trying to do. So with that in mind, I want to ask a few of you, what is the purpose of schools? Why, if this is why we maybe have AI, what is the purpose of schools? Why do we actually have schools? Why do we have the concept of schools? If you could write in the comments, and Tim, I'd love you to read some of those out, or maybe Tim, you might even be able to tell me what you think. Why do we actually have the concept of school? What are we trying to achieve with the concept of schools?
Just waiting for a few comments to come through the chat, Brett, but my first reaction would be to think about preparing people for the future.
Preparing people for the future? Yep, it's not a bad one, right? Like, not a bad one, preparing people for the future. We want to be able to look after our students. Any Any others in the chat there?
Yeah, Dr. Bronwyn Wade Lewin is with us at the moment. She's saying for socializing people.
Socializing people. So come to school, learn how to operate within our society, learn all those functional sorts of things. Yep.
Nissy is saying building smart things in a smart way.
Smart things, smart way. It's interesting, isn't it? Because so many different cultures around the world all have come to the same conclusion that we need the institution of education. Why do so many countries, so many governments, so many, I guess, ways of being human come to the same sort of conclusion? Any others there, Tim?
Yeah, Alice is saying build a learning culture.
Build a learning culture. Now, if I'm going to pivot the question very, very slightly, because we're all educators in here and we have beautiful big hearts. And, you know, we want to do what's right for society. We want to do what's right for the children in our care. We very much focus on that nurturing, that compassion, that love, that goodness, or making change in the world, planting seeds, growing beautiful trees and watering and tending to the gardens that are the children of our society. But from the perspective of someone who pays the bill, from the perspective of the government or the Treasurer, Minister for Education, the Department of Finance, for the people who actually pay the bill. And I want to say and stress here, the federal government in Australia spends $128 billion, billion with a B, $128 billion on education. That doesn't include all the money that the states spend. We know that the states run public education. The federal government spends $128 billion. The states top that up with extra money. What are they buying? From the perspective of the people who pay the bill, what are they purchasing when they purchase the concept of schools, when they purchase the concept of education? What is the ROI? What is the return of investment? What do they believe they are purchasing? Just out of curiosity. Thoughts within the group.
Yeah, a few more comments here in terms of the rationale for education: to educate, develop skills, build character, prepare for life. That was from Varsha. Jeff saying allegedly to refine and educate people to be able to contribute to the betterment of the community and society, which is an interesting.
I'm going to pick that. Can I pick that one up? Contribute to the betterment of society, right? So the investment from a monetary point of view is $128 billion that the Australian government invests. We know that a highly educated population tends to have highly successful jobs. Highly successful jobs tend to be more highly paid. More highly paid jobs have increased tax revenue. Increased tax revenue means money goes back to the government, and that pays for the things in society that we want. We want good hospitals. We want good roads. We want a police force. We want nurses and doctors. We want education. It is from the point of view, and it is very distinctive, and I know I'm an educator. I know you're educators. I know we're doing things for the good of the children in our care and the good of the families that rely on us and all that sort of stuff. But from the perspective of the person who pays the bill down in Canberra, they're purchasing future tax revenue. They are purchasing an investment, a return of investment on future workforce. So now I ask this: if AI is part of the world now, I don't think there'd be a single person in this call or a single person I've met in the last several years who would be able to say, hand on heart, AI is not going to be part of the workforce for the future. So if we invest in the concept of education to have our students be able to be highly effective and full participants in the workforce of the future, and we are sure that AI is going to be an essential part of the workforce in the future, it makes sense that AI needs to be part of the education system so that we can actually have the best prepared students so that they can be very successful in their lives within the future. From the perspective of, obviously, the people who are doing the investment within the concept of education. Now, I want to move on from that, because where do we go from the Odyssey part of it? So we're going to go on the journey. To go on the journey, we need to know where we want to get to. We need to know where we want to get to. Odysseus, he took 10 years going from island to island to island, trying to navigate his way home, trying to find his way home. He got blown off course and did all this sort of stuff. If we don't know where our island that we're trying to sail to is, how will we ever get there? In 10 years, we'll be having the same exact conversation about, all right, we need AI in education. So I want to flip something. What's our North Star? What is the island? Where is the location that we want to sail to? So we don't spend 10 years lost across the Aegean Sea like good old Odysseus. So I would position the concept that actually, I reckon we can probably get there within 6 months, 12 months within a school on where you want to be. Because if we know what we value in education, if you know what your school is trying to achieve, instead of actually saying, let's have AI in education, let's say we want higher engagement. Let's say we want to enhance feedback. Let's say we want to raise literacy levels, whatever it might be. If they are our core values, and then the AI is just there to augment and support and help achieve that, we can get to where we want in AI in a very short period of time, because we know that AI is going to change every few months at the moment, sometimes every few weeks, new tools, new features. If we build our AI policy about what AI is available, then we're going to have new AI policies, new AI strategies, and we're never going to get to Ithaca. We're never going to get to our island. We're never going to get to where we need to be. What we need to do is work out what our purpose is. That's why I asked that big question at the beginning. What is the purpose that we have for schools? What is the purpose for the federal government? What is the purpose that you have? What is the purpose that your school has? Identify that purpose, build your policy around that purpose. Then as the AI tools change, they're irrelevant because the purpose is staying consistent. And you can get there from a policy point of view and from a strategy point of view in a very, very short period of time. All right, very good. Hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. So I like this last question there. Just had a look. Who are the gods that will hack us? Now, let's think. Actually, I want to go back to that metaphor, because whilst Odysseus was getting blown off course and doing all sorts of things, there were lots of suitors trying to sweet talk his wife Penelope and take her away and convince her, forget about Odysseus, come off with me. We have a great life together. We have that in education too. We have AI suitors everywhere we look. We have people whispering sweet things to our ears to say, come over here, go over there. We have the sirens, the sirens swinging sweet songs that we sail our boat over to when we get there, and it's not what we were led to believe, and we crash and we're all over there. We do not have the ability in education to listen to the siren song and go over and crash onto the rocks. We can't listen to the suitors that are making us go, all right, let's pick this tool, let's pick this tool, let's pick this tool. That's why we need to have a very clear overarching purpose, and we go with our purpose rather than a tool-based sort of thing. So I'm just going to go back to my slide deck for a moment and show you a couple of different slides. There we are. So if I jump now, I'm actually going to jump straight to, yes, curious, just curious now, who has, where's my, from current slide, there we are. If we're going through the hype cycle here, as we're sailing along, just wondering within the chat, where are you? Where do you think we are in the hype cycle of AI? Are we at the peak of expectations? Are we down in the trough of disillusionment? Are you coming back up that slope, or are we plateaued out to a sense of productivity? Just in the chat, just out of curiosity, where do you think you personally are with your AI sort of concept? And while you're doing that, I want to talk about this. So when we listen to the tools, when we listen to those sirens, when we listen to those suitors that are whispering sweet things, it's interesting to think of, is the AI tool something that has been developed and it's something that is trying to solve a problem? It's finding a problem. It's a tool that's been developed trying to find a problem that it can solve. Or do we have a problem and then we go forth and look for the AI tool that solves that problem? And this is why it's very, very important that we have a situation where we know what our goals are, and within our AI policy within our schools, we actually structure what our goals are so that then we can attach to that. I want to show this gentleman, the CEO of Duolingo. I'm not sure if anyone's used Duolingo. What a fantastic quote from him. he says that AI is better and a better teacher than humans because it's 24/7. You can tap into it anytime you want. But schools are going to still exist because we need childcare. That gentleman there has never had to teach kids mathematics. They has never realized that making someone go back and rewrite the draft of their essay is more challenging than just putting up an instruction on a screen on an app on your phone. Humans and humanness is at the center of the art of teaching, the pedagogical craft of teaching. I think one of the wonderful surprise things of AI is that actually potentially it could be driving the humanity of the teaching practice, because we don't want a situation where teachers are replaced by AI, and that's not going to happen because there is absolutely no 15-year-old does linear equations because the computer screen says do linear equations. They do linear equations because Miss or Sir has explained it to them and asked them to do it because you've got that relationship sort of with the student. So actually, I'm going to skip through because young Tim, I've got a bit of a task, a bit of an Adobe-centered task. I'm going to play a quick game. How am I going for time, Tim?
Well, you're just about out, but we can go for an extra.
Right.
Give yourself 5-10 minutes.
All right, I won't even need that. If you give me 5 minutes, I'll be good. So I'm going to play a quick game of Carry Aioki. What I have done here with Carry Aioki, I have taken the lyrics of some songs, put it in Adobe Firefly, and asked it to generate an image based on that song. So in the chat, and Tim, I'm going to need you to call this out. In the chat, I would like people to look at the image and then write down as fast as they can who is the artist and what is the song, right?
Song and artist.
Song and artist. Carry Aioki.
Oh, I know this one.
You know this one? Friday night, and the lights are low.
Who's going to be the first one to type in?
Go.
Dancing Queen ABBA by Lindsay says that first. Well done, Lindsay.
Very
if
good,
my
Lindsay.
sound effects working, I'll give you a round of applause.
2 points for Lindsay. 2 points for Lindsay. All right, let's go. Next one's going to be super fast.
Oh, I know this one too. But do we know the band?
The song's easy. The band is trickier.
We've got Shelley saying, "Eye of the Tiger, Survivor."
Eye of the Tiger, Survivor. Very good, very good. So we're using our Adobe Firefly here in clever and creative ways. So Carry Aioki, song number 3.
Jessica's got the name of the song, but not the artist.
Song and artist.
And Elise has got the song and the artist. MJ, Michael Jackson, Thriller.
Michael Jackson, very good. Lucky last. Fourth song. This is my karaoke song in real life. 15 miles to get to that. Heading down the Atlanta highway.
Looks like your Love Shack. Here we go, Love Shack. B-52s. Well done, Naya. Naya Phillips.
Love Shack, B-52s. Well done. So Adobe Firefly itself has had actually a little bit of an update lately. I know, Tim, you and I were talking about this with Nano Banana being brought in. So it's very, very good now at facial recognition. You put in your own images and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask people right now. Here's one that I made earlier. Firefly sharing challenge. Tim, is there a hashtag that people are using at this? Do you know?
No, we haven't really.
All right.
We're just using
Doesn't
the Padlet.
matter. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So either on LinkedIn or the or the Padlet. I would love this right now. Go to Google, type in Tim Kitchen, grab a photo of Tim Kitchen. Take that photo, save it onto your desktop. Take that photo, go to Adobe Firefly. Ask Adobe Firefly to use the photo of this person in a creative background. You see here, I've got Tim talking to a few different monsters, and it actually describe the monster and it gives you a couple of different options of what you want, what you might. So I had a pink scary monster, supposed to be of a Greek myth, actually pointing at Tim, because you're yeah. When what I'm going to do for you, Tim, is because I am from HP, as a lot of you know, and HP is Ferrari's sponsor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a look at all of the photos of Tim that gets shared online. And the one that I like the most, I'm going to make sure you get a little bit of Ferrari merch, and I'll get that sort of sent out to you. So tag me in it. Obviously, give a shout out to the Adobe conference that we're at. So let's make some noise about how awesome Adobe is. Get that photo of Tim, play with it play with it in Firefly, share that image, and I'll see if I can't get some Ferrari drip for you. Now, being a good digital citizen, Dr. Kitchen, did I ask your permission first before we did that activity?
No, but that's okay.
Yes, I did about a week ago.
Oh, sorry, you did. You did. Absolutely.
Hey, bro, I literally called you up and asked you that question. Are you okay if I do that? Because good digital citizens always check. You don't use images without consent. You almost threw me under the bus there, bro. Chunky.
Sadly, we're not recording this. Oh, we are recording this.
But in all seriousness, I actually did make that phone call to Tim, and he does have permission. But I am serious about this too. If you want a nice Ferrari, some Ferrari drip, get that shared out. Let's share the love about Adobe. Let's share the good news about Adobe. Adobe Firefly tool, such a good tool. Let's do our translations. Let's be inclusive. Let's have human-centered, and let's go on that Odyssey. And let's actually get there fast rather than 10 years. Let's just not get lost on our way to Ithaca. And that is me done.
Thanks, Brett. The best way to connect with you would be through LinkedIn, probably. Just look up Brett Salakas, at Brett Salakas in LinkedIn. That's a nice way of connecting with Brett. He does amazing work all over the country. The other day when I was introducing you you weren't there. I was introducing what you're about to do now. I was in Adelaide. I said, Brett Salakas, the second hardest working EdTech person in Australia.
The second. Mate, as long as I'm on the podium, I'm happy.
You do a fantastic job.
No guesses as to who the hardest working person is. That's Chrissa. That's Chrissa Diamante. That's it. Number one.
Who's actually doing work on Adobe Podcast in her session. That's also one of your favorites too, isn't it?
It is actually. That actually is one of my favorite tools.
Absolutely. So, Brett, we really appreciate the time putting into preparing for this, and thank you for being our keynote. You were at our conference last year on our panel. You're one of our Adobe Creative Educator Innovators. We're very pleased to have you as on our highest level of our leadership community, and we really appreciate you and the work that you do around this country and even beyond.
Oh, thank you. And having a quick look there, seeing so many kind words and so much interaction now that I can actually see the chat, and Nalin and all those sorts of people. Thank you so much, everybody, and thanks for the invitation as always. Do love our Adobe. HP and Adobe, match made in heaven.
Absolutely. Good on you, mate.